Hi, I'm Grant Ward. I'm a principal sales engineer with Perforce Delphix. I've spent many years helping customers solve complex data use cases using the Delphix platform. Today, we're going to talk about how we can easily share data between individuals or teams for root cause analysis. Please also remember to check out other videos released by the Perforce Delphix team covering other sorts of use cases as well. How does Delphix work? Delphix ingests data from any source. These sources are typically production environments. Delphix then profiles this data for any sensitive values and then masks those sensitive values with realistic data that contains referential integrity. Delphix can then virtualize your data by giving you an unlimited number of copies of these that are available in a test data library. These can then be accessed by your data consumers via self-service. Delphix also has an intelligent API integration layer that allows you to automate us within any of your existing data pipelines today. Today, we're going to show you how Delphix virtual databases are far more flexible than physical databases, where you can, via self-service, log into your copy, be able to bookmark your data at the point in time that you find a problem, be able to share that bookmark, and allow others in the organization to use that bookmark and create an exact clone of what you're seeing in their own database without losing the changes that they're currently working on. This allows teams to quickly deliver data to develop, test, and release fixes in the environment. Okay, let's have a look at our Delphix environment here. Here I've got my test data library with all my different databases that are available to me across the organization. I'm interested in the banking database as the testing team. That's the one I'm going to be working on. As a tester, I've just discovered an issue in the latest code that I've been testing against, and I want to share the data that I've created with the development team so that they can go and investigate the issue in their environment. So what I can do here is I can go and bookmark my database. I'm going to give the bookmark a meaningful name that could be linked to some sort of ticket in the system. I'm going to set this bookmark as public so that it will be accessible to others in the organization that need to use it. I'm going to create this bookmark. Instantly, you now have a bookmark that's created on your testing database that's ready to be shared in the organization. I'm going to log in as a developer and show you what the process would look like on their side. But just before I do that, I just want to explain a little bit around roles in the Delphix system. Every user will authenticate against the Delphix environment, and you can assign roles to individuals or groups that are accessing your Delphix objects. If you have a look here, you can apply very granular levels of security and controls against all of your users around what they can and can't do in the system. The idea here is that these users need to only be able to work on the databases that are allocated to them. So I'm going to log in as a developer now, and you should see that that person is only allowed to work with their databases that they've been assigned. I've logged into my Delphix system as a developer. You'll see that I only see dev databases here. So that means that I've got no access to the QA database itself, and I can't interfere or make any changes to their environment. But I do know that I've received a Jira ticket that's been allocated to me in order to work on. So let's go and have a look at that. I know there should be a bookmark that's now available to me. I'm connected to my dev database over here, and I've got that bookmark allocated. I now have the ability to go and refresh my virtual database back to the bookmark that was shared with me. Once my refresh is finished, let's go and look what the timeline of the database looks like. Here we can see the timeline history of my database. This is the original timeline that I was working from. So data is version controlled in Delphix. The previous data that I was working on as a developer is still there and accessible to me. However, I've now refreshed my database back to that bookmark that was assigned to me by the development team, by the testing team. And that is now my active time flow here. I can go and test my code, make changes to the code, check in the code, update the QA team that I found the defects. And once I'm finished with that, it's just now the click of a button for me to return to what I was doing before. Let's have a look at that. So if I go back here and I now make this time flow active, we can see that my original time flow has now been returned back to its original state. This is what I was working on previously. And the inactive timeline is the bookmark that was shared with me earlier. So this is a very powerful way of being able to share data in the organization and switching between different versions of the data using your Delphix virtual database. Please also remember that a Delphix virtual database behaves and works exactly the same as a standard database that you're familiar with today. There are no differences here that Delphix introduces. I hope you enjoyed that. Please reach out to us if you have data or compliance challenges that you would like to discuss, and we can show you how we can deliver a return on investment in 6 months. Thank you for your time today.